Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome into my Tuesday edition on my YouTube channel. As everybody knows that has been with me since the beginning of the season, I'm going to cover my top waiver wire targets and give you guys my top 5 streamable defenses. I'm going to go ahead and dive right into the video so I can get this out for you guys so you can get those waiver claims in before they process overnight. So yeah, my top quarterback out of the week. I can't believe he's still available, but I guess people had to give up on him in the first 4 weeks because either injuries happened and they couldn't afford to stash him on their roster, on the bench, like I have. Luckily, I've not been able to force drop anybody in the league that I do have Trey Lance. But yeah, so there he is, Trey Lance. He is available in 69% of the leagues. This past week, he took over for Jimmy Garoppolo, who got hurt with a calf injury. Now, we're at to see how this calf injury plays out for Jimmy. He said on the after the press conference after the game that he was going to probably be out for 2 weeks, and then Kyle Shanahan came out earlier and basically said that he thinks he could possibly play this week. Who knows? But regardless, I still believe this is going to be Trey Lance's job at some point of the season. And if he does start and this offense completely blows up underneath him, I don't see how they could switch back to Jimmy Garoppolo. So yeah, he's available in 69% of the leagues, and when he took over against the Seahawks this past week, he had 157 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, and then what you really like is he had 7 rushes for 41 yards. So he's going to give you a high floor as a quarterback. And what I also would like to keep in mind is when he took over, he was kind of running the 49ers offense like they were having Jimmy Garoppolo at quarterback. So you also got to keep in mind, once he gets the starting job and he has a full week of reps with the starters, and Kyle Shanahan has a full week to develop his game plan for that matchup, he's going to use Trey Lance's mobility. They're going to use quarterback reads, bootlegs, roll him out, get him up in space, and they're going to take advantage of his athleticism. So he offers a super high ceiling as a player going forward, and he could be that rookie quarterback like Justin Herbert was last year and end up being a quarterback one and help carry some people to their championships. Now, as long as, Jimmy Garoppolo is officially ruled out this week, they are going against the Cardinals. Obviously, the Cardinals are a lot better team on defense than as expected, especially in that secondary. That's what I meant. They're a lot better in their coverage, but I would still play Trey Lance if you had a chance, if you've been holding on to him like some people have, just because he is going to be playing a high potent offense. So even if he kind of has a bad first rookie game, like from misreads and maybe an interception or two, he's going to get you a lot of garbage points too on Sunday. But yeah, after my little long spiel on Trey Lance, I'll keep this moving. We got my running back out of the week. It's going to be a popular name you probably have heard by now, but it's Damian Williams. He's available in 92% of the leagues, and after David Montgomery got hurt, he has been kind of working in small touches here and there during games behind Montgomery. He rushed the ball for 8 times. He had 55 yards, a touchdown, and he had 2 receptions for 15 yards and 2 targets. Now, it came out earlier. Luckily for David Montgomery, I'm happy for him. He did not tear his ACL. I forget what the exact injury is. I did kind of just slip past my mind, but I know he's expected to miss like 4 to 5 weeks. So that's at least a month or so he's going to be out of action. So Damian Williams is a good add because he can give you like an RB2 flex play going forward. He's got a good matchup against the Raiders this past weekend. That's what I was about to say. Actually, last night on Monday Night Football, we saw Austin Eckler have a great game. So there's a good matchup for Damian Williams to give you immediate value. I would actually start him. If anybody's like, who's Damian Williams? Remember, he's the running back from the Chiefs that had that huge game, which people will argue he could have won the Super Bowl MVP when the Chiefs beat the 49ers. He opted out last year. When he came back this past year, the Chiefs released him from the roster. He signed as the backup in Chicago. Now, I would warn as a caveat, they still got Tariq Cohen, right? Their receiving back. He's currently on the PUP list, so he's forced to miss at least 6 weeks. I haven't heard anything like if it's any health updates where he is, but if he is a healthy, he's going to be eligible to come back after week 7. So Damian Williams definitely has some great value, at least for the next 2 weeks, week 5 and week 6. But starting in week 7, if Tariq Cohen gets activated, that's where you get your worries if Damian's going to offer you any upside as a receiver. My wide receiver ad of the week, sticking with Chicago, it's Darnell Mooney. He's available in 62% of the leagues. This past week, he had 5 receptions, 125 yards on 7 targets, and they even used him in with a little rush that he got for 10 yards. So he had a nice little his best performance of the season with Justin Fields at the quarterback position. Now, obviously, I'm just like everybody else and wondering what the heck is Matt Nagy thinking? How could you ever want to go back to Andy Dalton? That makes no sense whatsoever. But they're still trying to say that Andy Dalton is the starter, so if healthy. So I have my concerns, if Andy Dalton's the starter. We didn't really see him and Mooney have that connection that you'd want to see. But I think just like Trey Lance, at some point, these coaches got to get inside their head. They need to get reps with these young quarterbacks on the field, especially when you spent the first-round pick on them. So Justin Fields, I believe, is going to be the starter, even if they try to force the Andy Dalton issue. And I think that helps Mooney's upside going forward for the rest of the season. So if he's available in your league, definitely pick him up because he can end up being like a wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3 range as long as him and Fields have continued this chemistry and he gets those 7+ targets every week. My tight end out of the week, this is a guy I guess I've been pounding the drum for all through the offseason. After week 1, I know he's been on my starts a couple times so far this year, but it is Jared Cook. He's available in 53% of the leagues right now. This past Monday night, he had 6 receptions for 70 yards on 7 targets. And he's the clear third guy in this passing attack. You got Keenan Allen, you got Mike Williams, and you got Jared Cook. Now, Austin Eckler is going to get his, but Jared Cook offers Justin Herbert, as we saw, a big body presence in the red zone. So I think he's worth an ad, and at this point, you can gamble on him because you're going to bet that he's going to have at least the 3rd most targets in this offense. This week, they do have the Cleveland Browns, so they are playing a little tougher defense this week, so we'll have to see how that goes going forward. But I definitely don't think he should be available more than 50% of the leagues right now. My flex ad of the week is Devontae Parker, the Dolphins wide receiver. He's available in 62% of the leagues. This past week, he had 4 receptions, 77 yards, a touchdown, and this is what you like. You like the 9 targets, right? So Jacoby Brissett was looking his way this past Sunday. Now, obviously, you want to see them connect better. You want to see better efficiency between that. But I think he's a good ad going forward. Like I was saying last week on for the wide receivers I was talking about, keep in mind, bye weeks are coming up here in the next few weeks. So you're going to have to plan ahead for wide receivers that are going to be on their bye weeks. And I think if you could put in Devontae Parker for one of your starting wide receivers, I definitely think it's worth the gamble as of right now, as long as he continues to see that targets. Now, Will Fuller, this is my biggest point with Devontae, is Will Fuller we thought would be maybe one of the guys. I was thinking maybe Jalen Waddle, Will Fuller, then Devontae. Now I'm at the point where I'd rather have Jalen Waddle, then Devontae, than Will Fuller. Will Fuller this past week broke his finger, and then when he showed up in his first game, he got hurt with something and had to leave. And this is the Will Fuller of the old. He just can't stay healthy. Like, keep in mind, he got suspended for using PEDs, and that was coming off his best season when he stayed healthy all year. So obviously there's a connection. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm just going to have to make that connection. So I think Will Fuller is just an injury-prone wide receiver. I think Devontae, we haven't really seen his injuries come up over the last 2 years. So I think he's definitely worth the ad, especially if Jacoby's going to target him 9 times a game. He was 7 to 9 times. It's worth the gamble. He offers the big body presence in the red zone. And they got the Bucs this week, right? So if anybody's going to guess, the Bucs are probably going to dog walk the Dolphins on Sunday. So if you are desperate for a wide receiver play, I think Devontae is worth the shot, because that means the Dolphins are going to be in catch-up mode. That's what happened this past week against the Colts. Colts got up big on them. They had to go to a pass-happy offense, and he saw those targets and got that touchdown in the 4th quarter. So, I think he's a good play this week as well if you need to slide him into your starting lineup. So, again, my waiver wire ads of the week, Trey Lance as a quarterback position, the running back, Damian Williams, my wide receiver ad of the week, Darnell Mooney, my tight end ad of the week is Jared Cook, and my flex ad of the week is Devontae Parker. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and keep on moving this to the top 5 streamable defenses. Got defenses that I think I would be willing to stream if I didn't have a better option out there. Again, remember, these are available in more than 50% of the leagues on Yahoo. So let's just go ahead and dive right into this. I think the Vikings are my number 1 defense. They're available in 82% of the leagues. They are playing the Lions this week, and I believe that game, let me just really quickly look that up because I don't want to misquote, because I do believe it's playing in Minnesota. Let me just double check for you guys. Apologize. But yeah, let me just go ahead and really say this. The Lions offense, like outside DeAndre Swift, sucks right now. So that's where I'm coming from, is that I think that oh, that's what happened. Okay, well, sorry guys. So for some reason my internet was not connected to my Wi-Fi. But yeah, the Vikings defense is going to be able to harass Jared Goff, right? We saw what happened against the Bears when Jared Goff had those 2 fumbles on Sunday, and Frank Ragnow, the Lions center, has been ruled out. So, or he's going to miss some time. I know he's not going to play this game. So that's going to allow the defensive front from the Vikings kind of dominate the middle of the defense, and it's going to allow a guy like Danielle Hunter to come off the edge and pressure Jared Goff. And I just like that matchup because I think that they could get the turnovers, I think they can get the sacks, and I think it's something that they could take advantage of. So I think the Vikings defense is a good play against Detroit. And there you go, Titan making his weekly appearance by sneezing right over there after I got that off. Internet issues, dog issues. Sorry guys, I kind of got a little derailed on that front. So, but yeah, so then my number 2 streamable defense is going to be the Falcons against the Jets. To no surprise, the Falcons are available in 98% of the leagues. I would be lying to you guys if I did not think that this was a questionable defense to play. It does give me some. Oh, just confirmed as I finally got connected to my internet again. The Vikings are at home, so I do like that the Vikings are the home team. They can use that crowd and that energy onto the field. Which kind of leads back into the point where I was about to go with the Falcons. The reason why I'm picking the Falcons at number 2 spot is the Falcons are a home team. I do believe Zach Wilson definitely showed some really impressive things. I thought his arm talent was on display this past week when the Jets upset the Titans. So there is that worry that he's going to continue, that offense is going to continue to shine against the Falcons, especially because the Falcons defense has been one of the worst defenses in the league. But when you're streaming, sometimes you got to take a risk on a bad defense against a possible really bad offense, because small sample size, right? Jets are obviously, their offense is coming off what their best performance, but there's also a 3-week span of that offense being terrible and there's turnovers happening. So, Zach Wilson is still going to make rookie mistakes. So I have them up there because they're at home. Maybe the crowd advantage could affect Zach Wilson's play, and all you need is him to throw one bad throw, maybe gets hit on a sack and fumble and a return touchdown. So I'm kind of willing to gamble on that. My number 3 streamable defense is going to be the Panthers against the Eagles. The Eagles offense has been pretty much a mess on the rushing attack right now, and the Panthers, they definitely kind of got brought down to earth as far as their defense last week, but they are definitely set to bounce back against this Philadelphia offense. I think they got the defensive front that can take advantage of the very banged up Eagles offensive line. A guy like Derek Brown's going to eat up the middle of the defense, and that's going to allow like Hassan Reddick and Brian Burns to come off the edge and harass Jalen all day. So I like the opportunity for that to create sacks. I like the opportunity for that to create turnovers. So if the Panthers are out there, I think that's definitely worth a streamable defense against the Eagles. My number 4 streamable defense is going to be the Raiders against the Bears. The Raiders are available in 87% of the leagues right now. And the reason why I like this matchup is if Andy Dalton does play, to be honest. If I knew Andy Dalton was going to play, I probably would bump this up a little higher. But if Justin Fields plays, obviously you get the factor of his mobility, and I just think he's an overall better quarterback than Andy Dalton. But even if Fields does play, I think the Raiders defense would be a good play because this game's in Las Vegas, right? So another home game, another game with a rowdy fan base that can affect a rookie quarterback if Justin is out there, and a guy like Andy Dalton, who's seen everything, but that still affects the quarterback's ability to communicate with his wide receivers. And then I still don't like that Bears offensive line to protect whoever the quarterback is. So a guy like Max Crosby can get after him and force some sacks. So I definitely think it would be worth a gamble if you're looking for defenses and the Raiders were out there in your league. Last but not least, I'm picking the Cowboys against the Giants. The Cowboys defense is available in 77% of the leagues. Now, I will say this, the Giants offense has been kind of really impressive as far as they're getting better and they're gelling and they're showing some good things, especially what they did in the fourth quarter and overtime against that Saints defense last week. But this is a divisional game. We're seeing the Cowboys defense kind of somewhat get better as well. They forced some turnovers last week. Trayvon Diggs somehow has 6 interceptions in 4 games, which is outrageous. So they have been able to create some turnovers on that Dallas defense. So, and then they're going against Daniel Jones, who's playing a really good right now in year 3, but we still got to see him like I was saying about Zach Wilson, right? He's coming off a good game, but it's kind of still a small sample size. Same thing with Daniel Jones. There's a large sample size that he has turned over the ball. So I think it can be worth a gamble, especially with how the Cowboys have been able to create turnovers to start the season. So yeah, those are my top 5 streamable defenses after I kind of got back on track after no internet connected to SureSat. My dog deciding he's going to sneeze and drink some water during the show. Titan's just going to continue to make his appearances, so I hope that at least sells you on coming back. But yeah, my top 5 streamable defenses: Vikings against the Lions, Falcons against the Jets, Panthers against the Eagles, Raiders against the Bears, and the Cowboys against the Giants. And other than that, guys, as always, if you enjoy my videos, please hit the like button. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I definitely want to keep on trying to get that number as high as we can. And then also, always go check out the Prospect Encyclopedia. It's one of the proudest things I've done in this industry. So you go to prospectencyclopedia.com to check it out. You can order the entire PDF for $15. You can get an individual PDF for $1, and you can always check out the Buck section for free. And then you can choose after that if you'd like to make a purchase. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here, guys, so I can get this out there so people can watch it. I'll be back tomorrow night when I do my top starts and sits for week 5. So I'll see you guys then.